What's up, everybody? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about, are you making it harder to repair your credit? Are you making it harder to repair your credit? Now, you know me, if you've been listening and watching my videos, uh, you know me, I get into the mental side of a lot of stuff. And this is one of those videos. And I would really appreciate it if you don't really get into the mental side. I know there's some people that are just straight technical. I want you to at least listen to this just a little bit because I think it'll make a difference in your life, and you'll see that what you could potentially be doing. And it's not just with credit repair, it could be with a lot of things in your life, is that you make it hard on yourself. Like you have a side of you, and we all have these sides where you just don't want to allow good things to happen to you. You don't even know why you might just automatically do it. It's like some people don't allow to get into that mindset because they don't want to experience a letdown. It's like if I go for it 1,000% and it don't work, that it's like they get crushed. They don't even want to experience the feeling of getting crushed. They don't even want to experience the letdown. And it one of the videos, it was an audio that I had listened to from Tony Robbins. It was way back in, he made it in 1984. Well, no, not 1984, like 1992, 1994. It was an audio tape, and he was doing a uh, motivational session for real estate agents. And he had talked about in there where you have to get used to having frustration. And the first time I listened to that video, I mean that audio, I was like, what do you mean? First, get used to having frustration? People run from frustration. And then he broke it down and he said it like this. He said that when a real estate agent knocked on the door, to try to see if someone is interested in selling their house. And they do this right now. They don't knock on doors, but they send postcards over and over and over again. And then they do make phone calls. And because I get them all the time, trying to get me to sell my house or sell one of my rental properties or my office building. All the time they call. And he said, like, this is what would happen. Uh, he talked to some of the real estate agents in the audience, and he had said, okay, this is what most of you are experiencing. He said that you would knock on the door all happy, your suit on, or you're dressed nice. If you're a female, you're dressed clothes, and they would knock on the door, and the first time, they would get turned down. They're like, okay, that's just number one. They go to next door, get turned down, and that each time that they got turned down, that they were expecting to be turned down. Like they would knock on the door and they would be like, hurry up. In their own mind, they were like, hurry up and tell me no. Hurry up and tell me no. And he said that what you have to do is you have to trick your mind, and you have to make at that time, he said, uh, make it into a game where you want it to get turned down. You want the business, but you also had a game saying, I know that if I get turned down this many times, I'm going to have a yes. And that was where when you played the numbers game. And so he said that what you have to do is you have to get used to frustration. And I relate that to people when they're working on their credit, is that if you're going to repair your credit and get out of debt, you got to be all the way in. You have to throw all your cards on the table, and you can't be afraid of a letdown. You can't be afraid of it not working for you. But because when you do that, you actually allow your doubts start to materialize and bad things happen. That's why you can see, and I talk about this a lot in my videos, where you have two customers that had the same types of issues, and this individual is their credit is good and everything after 6 months, and then you have another individual after 6 months, they're basically in the same place that they were before. And I believe that a lot of that has to do with the mindset that if you constantly believe that bad things are going to happen to you, you constantly believe that nothing good can happen for you in your life, you are just waiting to be disappointed, you're most likely going to get disappointment no matter how hard you work, no matter how hard someone else works for you, because this is what you see. Um, you can see right now that in our country that you have one group of people that see things one way and you have another group of people that see the same thing a different way. And that's because what happens with all of us is that we bring our uh, uh, we bring our own experiences into what we're trying to work on. And so even though that thing is the same, you make a different recipe by bringing in your own personal experiences. And if you've had a personal experiences that always dealt with getting let down, that always dealt with disappointment, always dealt with frustration in a negative way, you're going to usually get more of what you want. Not to say that you won't make gains, not to say that you won't make gains, but you can. This is the reason why you could actually be making it harder on yourself to repair your credit. Uh, Let me give you another good example. A lot of people do this with relationships. You meet a new person, have nothing to do with the last person that you were with, and all of a sudden that person starts to seem like the person that you had the relationship with the last person. Some people say that you just attract that type of individual. Well, what I say is that you can actually attract that type of individual, but you can actually make that individual react to you that way because you're feeding into that person over and over and over and over and over again what type of person you want them to be. There's been plenty of people in relationships that were with one individual before, and then they got with another person and they were like a totally new person. Like they might have cheated on the other person, but when they got with the other person, they didn't do those types of things. And that's because with the new person that they're with, that person and the person that came from another relationship, they have a different mindset of how they want to be with each other. The other individual that keeps bringing in the same um, baggage, the same um, visions, the same uh, feelings that when is it going to go wrong? When is everything going to go downhill at some point? Is it 2 months, 3 months, 4 months? And they usually happens around the same time for that individual. They're going to get what they always expected. If they expect bad, they're going to get bad things to happen. And this is the same thing that can happen with people who make it harder to get their credit repaired, is that they just expect bad things to happen to them. So what I want you to do for your homework is I want you to that you want to have good credit. You know what's going on with your credit. Write that down on a piece of paper. And then I want you to, on the other side of that, write down what your goals are. And as you write down what your goals are, I want you to write down what comes to your mind every time you think of getting to that goal, because that's actually what you need to work on. And I hope that you take the time to do this lesson, because it's a very good lesson, because you can actually change things from inside, where you're going to give yourself a fighting chance of getting to a goal that you've never experienced before. Because when you want to get to something that you haven't ever had before, there's going to be a lot of doubts, there's going to be a lot of worries, you're going to latch on to what you know rather than what you don't know. And that's what makes you do this, where you'll go up. I want to repair my credit. I want to get out of debt. And then all of a sudden you start to come down because you start grabbing on to the things that you're used to having. And those things that you're used to having is frustration, worries about if something is going to work, feelings of not, of the frustration and feelings of not, uh, of having disappointment all over again. You have to get rid of that because every situation is a new situation that can bring you to growth in your life and to bring you into a better place. So I hope you got a lot out of this lesson here. This is uh, just felt that I needed to make this video. This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe. I have a lot of good videos pertaining to credit, debt, all types of stuff that's going on with 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 things that pertain to credit and debt. And if you need help with your credit, please visit my website, thecreditrepairshop.com. Put Posted here in the links are below this video. If you need your credit reports and scores, please visit the number 3 scores.com. And I have a whole bunch of resource links below here. Um, debt validation video, debt validation letters, cease and desist collection letters for debt collectors, a whole bunch of different resources that are below this video. Please take advantage of those. Thank you.